Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of 10 Chat Shenanigans. Today we're not in our usual spot at all. We're actually at my parents' house. Um, last weekend, my brother called me or messaged me and said, hey, my truck won't start. Uh-oh, that ain't good. So he had me come look at it. Fuel pump ain't working at all. So I'm gonna show you what we're doing a fuel pump in today. So this is my brother's 2019 Silverado 1500 custom. With a V6 4.3 liter in it. We're doing the fuel pump in it. There's Copper. It's my dad's truck. We actually did a little short on that one of it just running. That thing got like 5,000 views. So one day I'm gonna come over here and help him get it driving, and we'll do a video on that. But we're not working on that today. We're working on this. So I'm gonna hop under there and get it unbolted. That is my ATV and motorcycle jack that also doubles as a fuel tank jack when you don't have a lift. And it's really, really nice. It's fantastic, actually. So I'm going to get under there, show y'all what bolts and clips and connectors you need to take off to drop the fuel pump on one of these. It's super easy. It's just awkward. If it's your first time, you're going to be scared. Don't worry. It's okay. So let me climb under there and show y'all. So GM actually gave you this nice little handle when you have to drag the fuel tank out whenever you do it, if you do it on the ground, or if you need to, pick it up to put it on a jack. They give you this nice little handle, but you have two fuel lines right here. One's a return, one's your main feed. The main feed is going to be this metal one because it takes more pressure and it takes more heat. So it's more heat and pressure resistant. You'll need to disconnect both of those right here, but luckily they're right there and not on top of the tank. So that way when you get the tank down, you can disconnect the rest of it. You'll have two straps coming under, one on each end. If you hear running around, don't worry, that's just my brother's dogs. You have a bolt in there, I believe it's a 15 millimeter, and then you have another bolt right here, again 15 millimeter, and then you have your vent lines and filler neck, which you can get to from the tank or from this gap right here. Yes, you can take the bed off if you have help. Trying to do the bed by yourself is not an easy task, and it's easier to just drop the tank if you're by yourself. So yeah, I'm gonna get to unbolting and unclipping and unscrewing and unconnecting and get this tank out, and then yeah, then we'll go from there. So I'll see y'all when I have the tank on the ground. All right, fuel pump's out. The only things that had to be disconnected for it to come out was, like I said, those two lines over on that end, your filler neck connector, which there's an 8 millimeter bolt or an 8 millimeter worm gear clamp. You can undo it and just kind of wiggle it loose. And you have three electrical connectors. One's for your fuel pressure, and then you have one for fuel level and one for your fuel sender, so that works the actual pump. The way these little clips work, so I can get a decent angle on, here's one. See how that's kind of pushed in? It's gonna be difficult to do with one hand, but you'll be able to pull it out because it's ribbed right there, and you're gonna want to push in on this tab at the same time and it'll come out. So that'll stay locked out. You push that in and it pops right out, no issues. I'm waiting for my air compressor to get aired up, and I'm gonna blow out all this dirt and everything. You just don't want that going back into the tank. And then they make special tools for these. If you don't have that special tool, don't go out and buy it. There's a simple trick that an old mechanic taught me when I was doing heavy duty work. And ignore the box of stuff. I had to bring tools home from work. Get you this, just normal chisel, and make sure it's flat on the end. And what you'll do is you'll catch each one of these little grooves in here and just tap it with a hammer and go all the way around. If you beat on one too much, you'll end up tearing it up, scoring it up, and then it won't work right. But just go all the way around and that ring will pop off. And then if I had my tripod, I'd show y'all. I don't have my tripod, but I'm sure you can kind of get the idea. Just pop it all the way around and it'll come out. Sounds like my air compressor is just about done. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, pop the old one off, get it out, stick the new one in, and I will try to set y'all up best I can when I'm putting the tank back in to kind of show y'all how it should be. I'm gonna try. So let's go do that. All right, got the ring knocked off. It only took like 2 hits. Don't feel bad if it takes more than that. I know how hard to hit so I don't break anything. So I want to point out something right here. Every single fuel pump has this little locate tab. Not all of them have where it says locator on it, but they all have this tab. Sometimes there'll be an arrow. Sometimes you're just responsible for remembering where it goes. Remember that when you put it in. If you don't clock it right, it'll fit anywhere. If you don't clock it right, then your fuel lines will line up. And then your plugs will line up. And then you have to take it back down. So don't do that. Make sure you put it in the locator tab. Okay, let's get the old one out. All right, guys, I'm gonna attempt to do this one-handed to kind of show y'all how to do this. So bear with me. I'm sorry about all the craziness. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna first put in your level gauge, and then you'll sweep the rest of it in. Let's see. So, and then, yes, this hose is gonna kind of bend right there. Just shove it on over. Not all of them have that little hose. And remember what I said about it's gonna have some spring action. So, you know, don't worry about that. But just remember, you wanna get it in that locate tab. And then if you can get it, yeah, see, it's gonna keep popping back up like that. That's fine. I'm gonna have to push it down and get this ring at least started. So I'm gonna do that. But I just kind of wanted to show the proper way to feed this thing in. So just remember, you'll get your level sender, come in at an angle and sweep it in, and then go straight down. Because if you try to go straight down, you keep the level sender up, it won't work right, and it'll keep showing empty or a full tank, even though you're at like 1/8 of a tank. I'm saying this from experience. I have put in a fuel pump wrong, and they've had to come back because I did it wrong. It's not bad to make mistakes as long as you learn from them. And if you're doubting yourself, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. People say, oh, well, don't ask stupid questions. If you're genuinely concerned about something and you don't know anything about it, it's not a stupid question. Now, if you ask the same question 6 times, people might get aggravated. So don't do that. You know, try to pay attention, but, you know, ask questions if you have questions. But I'm gonna get this thing in and then slide it back under the truck and start getting it in. Okay, I'm back under the truck, and I was able to get that unclipped to get enough room to be able to plug in 2 of the plugs. The third plug for the fuel tank pressure, which is where my hand is back here. You can't see with that bracket in the way. Right there. It won't reach quite, but the actual fuel pressure and the fuel tank sender will reach. All 3 of these are different plugs, so you cannot mix them up. It's okay. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, now I just got to get the tank picked back up. And while I'm down here, I'm going to be able to, yeah. This is the vent line. You're going to try to just feed it up where it can be up there. So when you get it picked up, you can kind of get everything together. So I got to figure out a way to get this thing back on the jack. I had to take it off the jack to get it out from under the truck. So it's got about 8 gallons of gas in it, which isn't super light, but it's not super heavy either. So we're going to figure out a way to get it back on the jack so we can pick it up, get everything reconnected, and then bolt it in place, test everything out. So let me get all this bolted in. I was gonna try to get y'all where y'all could see everything, but I really don't think that's gonna work just because I'm gonna be doing so much moving around just because I'm by myself and I need someone to work the jack, someone to tighten the bolts, someone to get everything. So it's just gonna be me, but hey, you gotta make do with what you gotta do, and it's gonna be okay. No point in complaining about it. But yeah, I hope my brother knows how much I love him, because I would be charging a lot more if it was someone else, but it's my brother, so I gave him a really good discount on putting a fuel pump in my parents' driveway. So hope he knows that I love him. All right, let me get this tank in and then I'll come back with y'all. Well, fuel pump's in, everything's bolted back in. Still didn't fix the issue because the fuel pump driver had gone out as well. So tomorrow I've got to call Mossy for my brother to, you know, go pick up that part I'm not going to show that. I'm going to kind of end the video here. I was able to check ignition and battery voltage. Both of them were good. So, but you can see a little spot on the back of it, and it smells like burnt electronics. So, you know, it's one of those things where whenever those go out, they typically kill the fuel pump with it. None of the fuses were blown, and just trying to diagnose it in the driveway on Sunday on an extremely hot day is a little difficult for me to do, but we all make mistakes, like I said. But hey, things can be fixed. It's okay. It's a super simple part. It's 2 bolts. So, but yeah. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much how easy it is to do a fuel pump in one of these Silverados. It's very easy, very simple. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, and share. Really appreciate it. Hit the little bell icon so you never miss another episode of 10 Chat Shenanigans. Tomorrow is the Blueberry Festival. Like I said before, we're only going to be there until 10. We have a funeral to go to. There's a loss in the family, but we're still going to try to go. I'll still have stickers with me. I'll bring a couple hats, but yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support and all the subscribers, and hope to see y'all again in another episode of 10 Chat Shenanigans.